Good morning, SPICT students. For our lesson today, we're going to discuss the layer and layer management. After you have learned the parts of your Adobe Photoshop window, we are now going to concentrate with the Layers panel. So the Layers panel is commonly found at the right bottom corner of your window. Here it is. We have the Layer tab, Channel, and Path. Below the Layer tab, we can find the shortcut key that are very helpful when managing and using our layer. To start with your layer, let's start by creating your canvas that will serve as your working area. So let's click File and choose New. From this dialog box, it will ask you to name your canvas. This will indicate at your title head. Let's rename this as Lesson 1. From the preset, let's leave it for Custom. And for the size of your canvas, and from these boxes, this will help you in deciding which size of canvas would you like as your working area. For the width and then for the height. And here are the options for measurements to use. Let's stay with inches. For example, in my canvas, I will use 36 inches, height is 24, and then I will stay with the default 72 for the resolution of pixel per inch. The color, I will stay with RGB and 8-bit. For the background, we have the options for transparent, background color, but let's stay with white. If you're done, you can click OK. So here is our working area with Adobe Photoshop. Looking at our layers panel, you can see that there is a small icon that will represent your canvas. By default, it is named as background and there's a lock icon, meaning it is not yet ready to be used. To use this canvas, you have to double click this layer and then a dialog box will appear. There's a name inside the box. You can change it if you want or click OK. And here's our first layer, the layer 0. The layer 0 representing your canvas. Now, you can work on with this layer by inserting of text. Just click the type icon at the toolbox and then press it over the canvas. And then you can start typing. If you are done, you can click the check icon representing that you are done typing. If you want to move your text, just click the move icon or V key as your shortcut, and then you can move. Look at our layers panel. It has now two layers, your canvas and your layer for your text. What if I want to add another image? You can go to File and click Open and then search for your image. And click Open. You can notice that this image is not placed inside your canvas, and it is placed on another window. Here is your canvas, and here is your image. To transfer your image, you can copy and paste it to your canvas, or you can just move your image to your canvas by means of using the Move tool. Click and drag your image and bring it over the Lesson 1 title head and then release it. Now your image is placed inside your canvas. Look at our layers panel. At our layers panel, we have now three layers. We have the layer 0 for your canvas, layer 2 for the text of SPICT, and layer 1 for your SPICT image logo. Let's try to move your logo by using the Move tool. You can see now that the logo is in front of our text. That is because our layer 1 is located above the text layer. To manage this, you can click on your text layer and then drag it over the layer 1. Now, your text can be seen because it is now located at the topmost part of our layer. Let's try to use the different shortcut buttons that we can find below the Layers panel. First button is the Layer Style button. When we click this button, we can find different kinds of list of effects that we can apply in our text and images. Bevel Emboss, Stroke, Inner Glow, and Satin. Let's try to apply the stroke. When we apply the stroke, you can notice that there is a changes that is applied on our text. We will have further discussion about the layer style on our next discussion. So just to use this, let's click OK. Next, we have the layer mask. This icon is used to add layer mask. Again, we will discuss this from our next discussion. We also have the Create New Fill or Adjustment layer. When you click this button, this will offer a list of editing tools that you can apply to enhance your image or text. For example, with the brightness and contrast, you can adjust this slider to the right to increase the brightness of your text or your images. If you adjust this to the left, it will decrease the brightness of your layer. Look at our layers panel. There is now an additional layer for brightness and contrast that you can adjust. Next, we have the Create New Group. When we click this icon, it adds a folder in our layers panel that will help us in organizing our layers. It can be used in grouping layers into one folder. To organize your layer into a one folder, you can simply click and drag it over the folder. As you can notice, this layer is indented to the right, indicating that this layer is inside that folder. Let's also move this layer into our folder. And now, let us bring it over the group folder. Okay, now, these layers are already inside our folder. So we can also hide this to minimize our shown layer at our layers panel. To show the layers inside the folder, you can click again this arrow button. Next button is the Add New Layer. When you click this button, it will just add another blank layer on your Layers tab. You can use this to insert another image or to insert another text. Since we are at the group layer, it will just add another layer inside your folder. Let's try to use this layer. So I will type text again by using the type tool, and I will type grade 7 zoom. And then I will click the check icon. And then again, I will move this text, move closer to the logo. Let us look at the layers panel, and let's identify the benefits of using the folder. So let's click this folder icon, and then let's try to move our object. So move tool, and then I will move it. So what do you notice? As you can see, the layer for SPICT and the layer for grade 7 zoom text are moved. So when I select the group layer, all of the layers inside that folder will move. And that is the benefit of using the group icon. So let me hide this. If you want to add another layer that is outside the folder, you can just click on other layer and then click new blank layer icon. And then this layer is located outside your folder. So let's just add another text. And then let's type. Now you can see that this layer has now a content school year 2020-2021. And the last button is the delete icon. This is used to delete layers or group layers. So to delete it, just click the button and then click yes. So that layer is now deleted. When working with Adobe Photoshop that involves a lot of layers, just like this, it's better for you to organize it so that it can help you to work faster and avoid errors with your project. At this part of our discussion, we are going to teach you different kinds of tips and tricks to work smarter with your layers. As you can see from my layers panel, it composed of different layers of images, text, and canvas. Number one tip for you to identify your layers easily is to rename it. You can rename your layer by simply double-clicking the layer's name on the layer panel and then type the layer that you want. For example, this layer number 3, this represents the SPICT logo. When I click the eye icon, this will hide this layer. When I click it again, it will show your layer. I will double click here again and I will rename it as SPICT. Next, I want to identify first what layer is this. The DepEd logo. So the layer 1, I will rename this as DepEd. And I will do this to the next two pictures. And then press enter if you're done. By means of this, you can easily identify the content of this layer. From our tarpaulin layout, you can see that the DepEd logo and our school logo is covering our text for our layout. This means that these layers are on top of this text layer. If I want to move this layer forward, I can simply move this layer, this Snappy Salute to Hero layers, above this DepEd and school logo layer so that it can be sent into the front. So let me just search for this layer, Snappy Salute. Let's check. Yes, this is layer Snappy Salute. And now, if I want to bring it into the front, I will just have to move this layer to the topmost portion of the logo, above this school logo and NE logo. To move your layer, just click and hold and drag it over the top portion of your layer. Looking back at our tarpaulin layout, as you can see, the Snappy Salute text is now in front of our DepEd logo and school logo. Aside from creating new blank layer, we can also use the Add New Layered icon at the Layers panel by duplicating the content and formatting of a layer. To do that, I can simply click and drag this layer over the Add New Layer icon and release it. As you can see, we have now the copy of this layer. To use the content of this layer, I will just have to press letter V for Move tool, and then I can now move this copied layer. I can also edit this by means of using the Type tool, and then type the text that I want. So here it is. With all of this text layer, I have the Snappy Salute, I have the thank you, the school year, and from SPICT text layer. If you want to minimize the number of your layers on the layers panel, you can simply merge your layers and combine it into a single layer. To do this, I'll just have to select all of the layers and press Ctrl E as a shortcut key for merge layers. To do this, I'll just have to press and hold the Control key while selecting all of the text layers. I just have to move and click the last layer. Press together the Control and letter E key. And you have a merge layers. Your layers are now combined into one layer. Let's try to hide this layer. Since it is a one layer only, all of your text now are hidden. Let's try to bring it back. And then let's try to move it. Press V. When moving this layer, all together are now moving. So this helps you in minimizing the numbers of your layers from your layers panel. You can also do this with the image layers. Select the image and then press and hold the Control key, then select all of the image layers, and then press Control and letter E key. Now, all of my image layers are combined into single layer. Let's try to move it by using the Move tool. When I move the DepEd Nueva Ecija logo, all of the other logos are moving because they are merged into a single layer.